Welcome to the first video in a series that highlights information on the financial sector in Trinidad and Tobago, and more specifically the securities industry. Let's take a look at a historical perspective on the financial sector in Trinidad and Tobago. First, we'll take a quick look at the history of the securities industry in Trinidad and Tobago, and then look at a basic model of the securities industry. Trinidad and Tobago began the process of constructing appropriate, independent and local financial and securities market structures in the period 1964 to 1968. This era saw the passing of the Central Bank Act, which established the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, the Commercial Banking Act, the Insurance Act, and the Financial Institutions Act, just to name a few. In 1981, the Securities Industry Act created the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, a self-regulatory organization. Another major development in 1981 was the proclamation of the Unit Trust Corporation Act of Trinidad and Tobago and the establishment of the Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation. This heralded the introduction of collective investment schemes in our financial landscape. Given the need to harmonize the regulatory framework of the securities industry at the time, the Securities Industry Act 1981 was repealed and replaced with the Securities Industry Act 1995. This act established the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, which functions as the regulator of the country's securities market. As the industry grew, in December 2012, the Securities Industry Act 1995 was again repealed and replaced by the Securities Act 2012. The Securities Act 2012, or SA 2012, is now the primary legislation governing the operations of the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. The Securities General Bylaws 2015 replaced the Securities Industry Bylaws 1997 and was enacted in April 2015. The Bylaws 2015 seek to clarify certain obligations and standards of conduct applicable to registrants and self-regulatory organizations under the SA 2012, such as registration requirements, disclosure obligations, business conduct practices, and fit and proper requirements. The TTSEC also regulates reporting issuers and market actors in Trinidad and Tobago. The International Organization of Securities Commissions, IOSCO, is the international association of organizations that regulate the world's securities and futures markets. The TTSEC is guided by the principles of IOSCO. In the next video, we'll look at how all these institutions oversee the financial services sector. Here is a list of references to assist in your research of this topic. Thank you for viewing, and be sure to check out our next video featuring the institutions that oversee our financial sector.